Hey guys, how y'all doing today? Well, I got a day off. The weather's warmed up a little bit. It's about 50 degrees out here. And if you remember, just before the foul weather set in upon us all, I was in the process of trying to get that go-kart started and rebuilding that carburetor. And Mr. Willis 5719 was kind enough to go out of his way for me in the true nature of the YouTube brotherhood and get me the replacement parts that I needed to do that carburetor, because it was just so nasty and old. And I'm going to attempt to put that together here and put it back on the machine and see if we can't get that fired up. So yeah, let's get into it. Alright, let me start by saying thank you, Steve, for doing all that for me and getting these parts. And it's been a little while. I may have to fidget to get this back together a little bit. There's the parts that came from it. If I remember correctly, I've already cleaned out all the jets and stuff. Yep. Seems pretty good, pretty good. So I'll set all this other stuff off to the side here. And see what we got to do to get her back together. There's my emulsion tube, my new float, all my fuel inlet valve, keeper, base washer, and there's the little O-ring for the, oh crap, I gotta fetch stuff now. Freaking wind may be a problem today. We'll do our best. Oh God. I may need to come up with a better plan. Oh, excuse me. Goodness. Right, this little rascal right here. Doggone it. Is the seat for the inlet valve. I cannot remember the proper term for them. But wait, I still have the old one in there. I forgot about that. I gotta fish that out of there first. I'm gonna pause you while I do that. I'm gonna find something that'll fit that in there and hook that and get that out of there. Alright guys, I'm gonna show this to you just so you know how I did it. I got a piece of welding wire and bent a little hook in the end of it and just got down in there and dug around in there till I got a hold of that rascal and pulled it out. Well, there's that. There's a textured side, and then the other side is just flat with a number on it. And the way it just came out, this textured side was down in there first, so that the valve actually hit on this side. Which, when I say valve, I'm talking about this thing. You know what I'm talking about? I cannot remember I always get a mental block and forget the proper term for that rascal. And I'm going to set this new one in there. And then try to find an appropriate size drill bit where I can use the, push it down in there. Got it put in place. I'm just going to push it down in there with this. A little bit at a time. Make sure it goes down in there square. Until it feels like it bottoms out. Okay, that's in there. Cool. Snap that little keeper onto there. And slip it in place. And open up the new float. And yeah, I'm going to have to edit this video so it's not so long. I'm not going to make you watch all these boring little moments. This shows a little spring and a little instruction package that came with it. I just thought, yep, there it is. There it is. There's a little bitty spring that goes with that. It even tells you how to go about putting that in there, right? But before I can put it in, I gotta get this other package that Mr. Willis sent me, because I goofed up and didn't order all the right stuff the first time. This wind is killing me. The second letter that Mr. Willis sent me with the remainder of the parts I need. You may remember me showing this to you before. Gaskets, the O-rings for the emulsion tube, and there it is. There's the little rod that holds the float in place. And what else do we get there? More gaskets, I believe. Oh yeah, a washer for the float bowl nut. And then an additional gasket, because I told him there were 2 kinds for this. We'll sort that out when we get that far. Which one of those we need. I'm trying to be careful here, make sure none of this stuff blows away and I'll lose it. This wind is making me crazy. Alright, this little tang right here goes over that little clip I showed you that holds the float on. I believe it has to go on there in one particular direction because the way it's bent. And I think that spring actually hooks up in there somehow too. Oh, it's gonna be tricky. It says this little spring, see how it's got a little bend in it right here that's like an L shape, it goes down. That actually hangs out over the rim where the gasket seats on. It's supposed to actually hang over that. And then the other part, this part, just touches on the back of the float like that. And getting that all in there like that's probably going to be a real good trick. Okay, so there it is. All in place. You can see the spring is on there, the pin is in there, and it's just hanging over the lip right there, and this is on top of the float to push it back down. And now see how the float is not, see how it's laying at a downward angle like this? It actually should be level. So to correct that, I'm going to reach in there with a fine screwdriver and bend that tang just a little bit, so that when I'm done it actually looks level. And that's how you adjust the float level inside the carburetor. See? And those are real fragile, just a little dab will do you. See how, doesn't that look better? More level. Okay. So, put the new O-ring on. The bowl gasket, slip it around there in place, make sure it's seated right. So got the new emulsion tube and the new O-rings that go on it. One goes on each end, and that's plastic, so deformed, bend, crimp, otherwise misshapen it. One goes over that end like so. The other one goes up in this end, like so. And there's little ridges on there so it holds it in place. Yeah, I remember now this end right here will actually stick up inside the venturi where the air blows through. And that's how you get it out when you have to. You push down on that. And you take another drill bit that'll fit down in there and give her a push. Push it up in there. I think that bit's too big. Let's try this other one. Good. And when you open the throttle, I can see it sticking out in there. I don't know if you'll be able to, but perhaps, maybe there'll be a shot where you can see it. And then again, maybe not. But anyway, trust me, it's sticking out inside there. You can see it. Okay. So now, then we're going to put this bowl on there. Now this part, this indented inward, will actually go across where the pin is. That gives where it's lowered or raised, however you want to look at it. This part is where the float actually moves up and down. For the nut that holds the bowl on, there's a new washer, and it's right here. And this actually has ports and pinholes through it, so you got to make sure it's clear too. At a glance, yeah, I can see through this hole right here. If I can get it in the light where you can see it there, maybe you can see that. I can see all the way through there. And when I blow into this end of it, I can hear air coming out, so I know it's clear. I'll slip that on there. Put it on. Push it in, I should say. Tighten her up. And then the nut that holds the bowl on will go down and seat up against that other O-ring that's on that emulsion tube and seal everything up the way it's supposed to be sealed up. And this is a Tecumseh engine and carburetor. This is they call it HM80 because it's 8 horsepower. Nice and snug. And there it is, it's ready. That wasn't too difficult, except for the wind messing with me. And I have the filter and the exhaust, or the little cage that goes on top of it, all over here in a box. All the other nuts and bolts are out there in the machine. I'm going to pick up these things I don't need, and then we'll go out there and see about reinstalling it on the machine. Okay? Okay. Yeah, I had to put my glasses on so I could see what I was doing. Alright, we'll go have a look at that in a minute.